Hey there, Tom and Jason. This is the plant instructional video for all of your new plant friends. So I'll go through lighting and watering and kind of the growth cycles and how to treat for bugs and stuff like that. So it might be a little rambly, but I'll go through as much as I can. So these are alocasias, which are part of the Arcadia family, I believe, and they come in a bunch of different varieties, also known as elephant ears. You can see this one's pretty big over here, and how they grow typically in the like dappled light of jungles. So they would be on the forest floor with trees overhead, so they like bright indirect light typically. So this one's been living in the cabana for I think about 1.5 years, and this one's been living in the cabana, and so it gets bright indirect light and then about 2 hours of west facing evening light. So there is one down the street that I noticed is like full south facing full sun all day, and it seems to be doing pretty okay. I'm not sure how much they're watering, but typically they would enjoy a little bit more shaded than direct, like beating down full sun. And how they grow is they're constantly putting out new leaves. In fact, this one has a new little baby leaf poking out here. And so what you'll get is, this is the oldest leaf, and then this is the second oldest leaf, and then the newest leaf is gonna come out. So they put out one leaf at a time, and it'll kind of alternate back and forth. And eventually this one will just die off, and that's kind of standard. So, and when they are actively putting out a new leaf, you want to increase their watering a little bit. They'll want, if you kind of notice that they're putting out a new leaf in the spring and summer, you'll want to increase the watering when they're actively growing a new leaf. Now, this one over here, you can see some of the old leaves I haven't trimmed back yet. So pretty regularly, just whenever these start to like die off, I'll just trim them back and keep cutting them back. These plants also flower, so I oftentimes just cut the flowers off. This is a flower here. I cut the flowers off because I want them to put more energy into putting out new leaves. So I typically cut the flowers off and cut these old, see a sad leaf there. And then they'll also put out new babies. I'll let them grow for a little while, and then I'll see if I can harvest them and regrow them. Sometimes they're successful and sometimes they're not. So as far as watering, so bright indirect light, if possible. You could acclimate it potentially to like more and more sun, but it might be like a process that you do over time. If you just were to take this plant that's been very happy in indirect light and just put it in the sun for a couple days, it might totally fry and die. And so for watering, these plants like to have kind of dried out between watering. So they're not like a calathea or a fern that wants really constant watering. So the other thing I'm including in your little plant kit is a water moisture meter. This is really helpful for just kind of all your plants as you get lots of plants. It takes some of the guesswork out of it and makes it a little bit easier you don't have to remember as much when you watered. And then I also I put magnets on the back, and then I designed a custom little magnet mount thing here that you can put on the wall with some sticky tape. So that's my little custom design. And so with the soil meter, I just watered this one yesterday because I tested it. I also propped this up on a stake because it was starting to get a lean. So you can kind of test at different depths. So this one's right now at an 8, so no need for water here. A lot of times for the alocasias, I'll let them get down to like 3, 4, maybe even 2, 3. Like they can get pretty dried out before you can test them a couple different spots. So this one's, I just watered yesterday, so it's good. This one here. All right, so it's still good. It's got enough moisture down there. And then in the winter, the alocasias go into a dormancy, and they'll need significantly less water in the winter, and they might die back a little bit. I'm not entirely sure. And then this is a Dieffenbachia. I killed one of these, I think by overwatering it. So right now this thing is at what, a 4. And so, and I think I watered it yesterday. I gave it a little bit of water. There it's reading at like an 8, so no need for water here. I killed one of these, I think, by overwatering it because it just like rotted right here and then just completely fell apart. So bright indirect light, let them dry out a little bit. Try out the moisture meter for to kind of test just all your house plants and all your plants around. And then, let's see, so that's the allocations in the different Bacchia. Over here, we've got the Monsteras. These things are just kind of standard Monstera care, pretty similar to the Alocasias, where it's bright, indirect light, water when dry, let it dry out a little bit between waterings. Another Alocasia here, it's looking pretty good. I already cut off, you can see I cut off all the kind of like the failing leaves. Plenty, no need for water on this one. And then the other thing I've got for you is, since you got some bird friends, I made some custom bird feeders if you want. So this is a little custom 3D printed bird feeder that I designed, and I've got some bird seed for you and some fertilizer. I'm not sure if you're fertilizing, feeding your plants. Oh, and the last thing is bugs on alocasias. So alocasias are just gonna get bugs. It's a constant battle. So if I notice they're getting a lot of them, these are called mealy bugs. There's one there. There's another one there. So if I notice they're getting a lot of them, then I'll take it and I'll kind of spray it with the hose, spray the leaves with the hose gently and actually kind of knock all the bugs off, the mealy bugs. And then I have a neem oil, which is a natural herbicide oil that you can spray on the leaves that they like. This black alocasia's definitely got bugs everywhere. It's not too bad. A couple, I think, is not too bad. What happens is they start to attack the new leaves, and then you start to get some damage on the new leaves. So if you notice they're getting really bad, spray them with water, kind of clean out, knock as many as you can off, and then give them some neem oil. But make sure you don't get the neem oil when it's like full sun, if they're getting, because the oil will like fry the leaves like you're frying in oil. So hope it's helpful, and I think these look really awesome. Excited for you to have them in your space.